Yeah, so let's start in the NFL this week. I'm gonna go through kind of my picks. I made picks last week, and I'm gonna go through. Y'all can see the video on the channel as well. It's there about my picks for week 1 of the NFL season, but I'm gonna show y'all now. We'll see if this works. I think it should. I'm gonna blocking part of the screen. Let me make me a little smaller so y'all can see. Okay, so this is the NFL from this last week, and we're gonna go through it. So my picks, I picked the Chiefs over the Lions. That did not end up panning out for me. The Lions miraculously won. Not really. I mean, you could say it was kind of a miracle that they won. A lot of people picked the Chiefs in this one, but I think Travis Kelce being out, their star tight end, and then obviously Chris Jones, their best defensive player, was not. They both weren't playing, and so I think that was a big factor. But breaking news as of like an hour ago, as I'm recording this on this live stream, not Chandler Jones. Why did I say? Chris Jones actually signed with the Chiefs for a 1-year deal. He was kind of holding out, but now he is back earlier than expected. He said it would be maybe week 8 when he came back, but it is now. So he's back, and Travis Kelce is probably getting closer to returning. So they're looking like they'll be healthy sooner rather than later. So this loss, it's the first game of the season. Don't really expect the Chiefs to just keep losing. And they barely lost. Like the Lions didn't really even play that well. The Chiefs for sure didn't play that well, but the Lions. So that's one way I guess you can look at it. The Chiefs were missing their 2 best players other than Patrick Mahomes. The Lions, on their side of it, like they gotta be like, wow, like we just beat the Chiefs and we didn't even really play that well. So interesting first game. I'm gonna go through a lot of these pretty quickly just for the sake of time, but the Browns-Bengals game, most confusing game of the weekend by far. I mean, this one just didn't make a whole lot of sense. If you look at the stat line, like Joe Burrow just awful. 14 for 31 for 82 yards. It's just really bad. Joe Mixon, 4 yards a carry. I guess that's whatever. But then you look at the receivers, just didn't do anything. T. Higgins had 0 catches. And they lost 24-3, as you can see at the top of your screen. How was that possible? I'm not really sure. Deshaun Watson didn't even play that well. They just could not stop Nick Chubb, who ran 6 yards a carry. Jerome Ford got in there at the end of the game because it wasn't the competition. But yeah, it was not even competitive, and it's kind of interesting. I'm not sure exactly why. But the Bengals really haven't been playing good for the last couple of years. To begin the season, I didn't mean like the whole year, but the last couple of years to begin the season, the Bengals have not seemed like they're really with it. If that makes any sense. I'm not taking too much out of it. I think the Bengals just had a terrible week. They were not ready to play. I mean, Joe Burrow was injured before the season started, so I mean, I guess like maybe that has something to do with it. I don't really know. Good win for the Browns. It's one of the only 5 that they'll get this year, in my opinion. But yeah, I mean, good one for the Browns. Bengals, I'm not worried about. Texans, Ravens, it's classic. I live in Houston. I know Texans are bad. Started rookie quarterback, had a rookie head coach. Really young team. Ravens are way better. Just on paper, they're way better. Sucks for the Ravens. J.K. Dobbins, their starting running back, is out for the year. That sucks. But the Ravens are way more talented everywhere than the Texans, and that's what kind of happened there. Big shocker was the Bucs-Vikings game. Baker Mayfield led the team to victory. As you can see, he played a pretty solid game. Kirk Cousins, I thought, played solid as well, but he lost like 2 fumbles and threw an interception. Really, this one's hard to explain for me other than the turnovers. Baker just didn't turn the ball over, and the Bucs didn't turn the ball over, and they were able to squeak it out. I thought the margin between these two teams were way different. but apparently I'm wrong. I thought the Vikings were way better than the Bucks. Like I had the Bucks like winning like 4 games. Like I just didn't believe in them at all. Clearly I'm wrong. Um, but going forward, I still don't have a lot of stock in the Bucks. I don't think they're going to be anything special. Baker just played a really good game, and if you want to bet on that happening more often than not, then go ahead. But for me, I'm going to stick with the Vikings are going to play better than the Bucks on a normal week. Another strange one. I'm going to actually, yeah, I don't really need to talk about the Falcons Panthers. The Falcons just running game was way better. Panthers have not a lot of talent on their team in general. Bryce Young struggled a lot, but it's because he has a bad offensive line. He has bad weapons. Panthers are looking really rough, and Falcons just ran the ball down their throat. Commanders, Cardinals, not shocking. These are two very mid teams. Cardinals are bad, actually, but they kept it close with the Commanders for some reason. I don't know how, but they did. Jags, Colts, as we go down here a little bit. Not the only surprising part was that the Colts kept it close. Anthony Richardson looks like he's going to be decent with his legs, but one thing I will say on Anthony Richardson for y'all who may be Colts fans or just Anthony Richards fans in general, he's going to have to learn to slide and not take hits, because that was his biggest downfall, in my opinion, was that he just ran until he got hit. And you can do that in college, you can't do that in the pros. That's something. He got hurt at the very end, so that's something he's gonna have to watch out for. Unfortunately, my favorite team, the Steelers, it was awful. I mean, just terrible. I'm gonna talk a little bit more about this game in a different video. Maybe it might be like a minute clip or whatever. I'm thinking about making like shorts for these, for some of the instant recaps or whatever. That's probably not the right way to say that, but 49ers just looked dominant is honestly what it was. Steelers, I think, are going to be okay, but their offensive play calling just isn't very good. I think their offensive coordinator, Matt Canada, is just not a good offensive coordinator. He just doesn't work with this team, and the 49ers roster is just insane. Titans Saints is one that I don't really care about. It's Derek Carr and Ryan Tannehill. Like, the battle of mid is what this game would be. Raiders Broncos, shocked that the Broncos lost. Honestly, Raiders are trying to tank, and the Broncos I thought would play better. That one's kind of weird to me. And then Eagles Patriots. Eagles are feeling the loss of their two coordinators. They lost their offensive and defensive coordinator. I think they kind of showed in this game, because they're having to like kind of look in a different direction and try to change it up a little bit. Jalen Hurts is still going to be really good. He didn't play that well, but I think it's just the coaches need to kind of glue it together. They'll be fine. I'm not worried about them. Patriots kept it competitive, though, and I think Patriots look pretty decent, honestly. The shocker of the week, other than the Cowboys-Giants game, which I'll talk about shortly, was the Rams-Seahawks. Rams just took it to the Seahawks, and I don't really know what happened in this one. Like, in all honesty, I didn't watch all of this, but Matt Stafford just was really good. Kyron Williams looks like he's a really good running back. And they just didn't have any receivers to throw to, but they seemed to do just fine with a rookie. I don't even know how to say his name, to be honest. He went off, and then Tutu Atwell played well. Geno Smith, kind of looking like he's not the guy that they thought he was. He played great in his first game last year, but did not play great in this game at all. So, shocker for sure on that one. Dolphins Chargers was crazy. I didn't watch all of it, but based on the score and based on just the offensive firepower that both of these teams have, Tua threw for 466 yards. Justin Herbert only threw for 228, but Austin Eckler ran the ball like crazy. It was kind of two different games. Justin Herbert kind of managed the game very well and let Austin Eckler kind of do his thing. And then Tua was throwing it all over the field. Tyreek Hill with 215 receiving yards. Interested, what did Jalen Waddle? Yeah, Jalen Waddle had 78 yards as well receiving. Um, so man, I really roasted the Dolphins in my prediction video, and I really thought the Dolphins were not going to do as well this year. But if Tua can stay healthy, I might be very wrong about them. That's what I'll say. Packers Bears. It was an interesting game to think about, but I think it came down to Jordan Love being experienced as a backup and kind of learning from Aaron Rodgers. That's a big experience boost. Justin Fields has kind of just been thrown in, and the Packers have a better offensive line, better running backs, and that's all they had to do is run the ball a lot and have Jordan Love not be pressured, and that's going to be the key for the Packers this year. I think they can really play well if only their offensive line can stay healthy and if their running game continues to be what it is. The Packers tests really are going to be really good, like defensive lines. When they have good defensive lines that can stop the run, that's going to be where it's going to be interesting for me. Bears just don't have that. And then the Cowboys, I'm going to make another video on this, but the Cowboys beat the Giants 40-0. Craziest, I think it's like the highest amount of points that, or the biggest deficit in like an opening game or something in NFL history. Some crazy stat like that. Giants were just awful, and I think more than the Cowboys, I think the Giants were just awful. But I'll make another video about that. Bills Jets tonight. As I'm recording this, y'all might see this tonight if I can edit it and get it out. I'm gonna try to do that. But Bills Jets, kind of expecting a pretty even game. I think I don't remember who I even took. It was a while ago, and I remember my predictions. I could see it going either way, though. I'll stick with what my prediction said. I don't remember what it was, but I could see it going either way. That's how like unbiased I am. So that is my kind of recap of this week. Let's see what my picks were. So I was 0-1 here, 0-2 here, 1-2, 1-3, 2-3, 3-3, 4-3, 4-4. Who did I take here? Did I take the? I think I took the Saints. I think I did. 5-4, 5-5, 6-5, 6-6, 6-7. I think the Pack. I don't even remember who I took here. I'm somewhere around 500 this week. I'm not really sure. Not a good week. I'll make sure to have an accurate demonstration of it. But anyway, that is kind of going to do it for this first video. But yeah, crazy start to the NFL season. A lot of storylines. I'm gonna try to make like minute-long clips of me reacting to some of these games. So be on the lookout for that. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you on the next Rise Up reaction.